Today's Halloween, and that means it's time to talk about something scary.
The Travel Channel.
Sorry about that. I guess it's technically the Travel Channel now, spelled TRVL. You might be thinking, what's so scary about traveling anyway? Lost luggage? Tropical diseases? The endless march of Western interests on smaller communities and idyllic locations that strips away their local economies so they're almost entirely reliant on tourism? No, silly, it's not that kind of scary. I'm talking about Big Feet and Draculae. That's right, the Travel Channel is no longer interested in the sexiest beaches in the South Pacific or culinary tours of Europe. They're more locked in on zombies than I was when I was 12. Want to know what's on the Travel Channel right now? It's Paranormal, caught on camera. Want to know what's going to be on after that program finishes? Paranormal, caught on camera. What was on at 8 this morning? You guessed it, Paranormal, caught on camera. So how did we get here? And are any of these shows actually any good? The Travel Channel was originally founded by Trans World Airline Marketing Services in 1987 as a way to sell more airline tickets. And that checks out, right? Show people a bunch of exotic destinations and they'll want to fly there on your airlines. Shows like Anthony Bourdain, No Reservations, and 1,000 Places to See Before You Die took viewers across the globe to showcase exotic cuisines and bucket list worthy destinations. This kind of thing seems much more appropriate for something called the Travel Channel than something like, I don't know, Expedition Bigfoot.
Bruh.
Don't get me wrong, it seems like this channel has always carried some sort of mysterious slash paranormal content. A show called Mysterious Places with Stacy Keach debuted in 1994 and ran until 1997, focusing on the world's most intriguing lost cities, bizarre formations, and sacred sites. As far as I can tell, this show was pretty heavily fact-based, and it still worked to showcase landmarks from across the world. So it seemed to fit in with the rest of the content on the channel at the time anyway. On the other hand, one of their current shows, Ghost Adventures, began its run way back in 2007 on the Sci-Fi Network before moving to the Travel Channel the next year. This is just your standard ghost hunting show, complete with EMF readers and night vision cameras. Nothing to be afraid of, except for a guest appearance by Brendan Schaub. Even with these shows in the lineup though, the network was still dominated by culinary tours and travel guides for years. But things began to change in 2008, as ratings for the Travel Channel peaked in the spring of that year. Since then, like most cable networks, they've been hemorrhaging viewers year after year. For some strange reason, people around that time weren't as interested in consuming aspirational travel content. Wonder why? This was also around the time when the Travel Channel began greenlighting more shows with paranormal or mysterious aspects to them, likely because those shows were simply doing more to stop the bleeding. Now, I've tried to find numbers to back this up, and I really couldn't manage it, but I imagine those paranormal shows were, and still are, pulling in more viewers for a couple of reasons. For starters, in the immediate aftermath of the 2008 housing crisis, travel abroad was probably not top priority for a lot of Americans. And if that's the case, why sit down and watch someone tell you about a trip that you can't afford to take, when instead you can turn your brain off and escape from reality for a little bit with a bit of paranormal investigation? Worse still, for the Travel Channel, I think it's actually better this way, but worse for the Travel Channel, as the modern internet emerged in the mid-2010s, people had an easier and easier time researching, planning, and booking their own vacations from their mobile devices. But the final nail in the coffin was really, in my opinion, the rise of the travel influencer. Because that's essentially what people like Anthony Bourdain and the other various hosts of these programs were. And I think we know now more than ever that people prefer to get advice on travel and other services and goods from people they feel like they can relate to. You're probably going to feel better taking travel advice from someone who goes out to a destination with a vlog camera rather than someone who brings a full production team and has a very rigorous production schedule. Couple all that with the fact that people are just naturally morbidly curious beings and that this kind of content scratches that itch, and you can almost understand why the Travel Channel officially switched to this kind of spooky content back in 2018. On October 1st of that year, they announced that the new Travel Channel would be focusing on the paranormal, the unsolved, the creepy, and terrifying. Now, I said I can understand the change in programming. I don't really understand why they felt like they had to keep the same name though. To be fair, they did remove the vowels in the word travel, but is that supposed to make it scarier? If you're convinced that the whole travel thing isn't going to work out for you, so much so that you're pivoting in a completely different direction, why bother keeping the name? I don't know. The branding of the channel is a mystery to me, but fine. Travel Channel it is. Now let's find something to watch. According to the Travel Channel's Wikipedia page, their current lineup consists of 4 shows. There's the aforementioned Ghost Adventures. Then there's Mountain Monsters, which I'm pretty sure Danny Gonzalez made a video about a few months back. Next is Expedition Bigfoot, a show about so-called Sasquatch specialists running around in the woods of Oregon. And finally, a show called Paranormal Caught on Camera. This show claims to feature panels of experts breaking down supposed paranormal activity caught on camera. Like I said earlier, it's currently being aired non-stop while I'm recording this, and while looking for episodes to watch, I found some really great options. First, there's your classic Arizona dorm room ghost, which I just thought was really funny because it's so nothing. But my personal favorite is Long Island Bigfoot, because it just makes me picture that Bigfoot footage with him walking through the woods. And he's just saying, "Hey, I'm walking here." Anyways, in the end, I figured I could up the scare factor by picking one that was closer to home. So let's check out Poltergeist Stalks Family in Houston and see if the new programming on the Travel channel is any good.
Was originally built as a tuberculosis sanatorium in 1912, where countless patients died. In 1956, it was repurposed as a state hospital for the mentally disabled.
I'll just say, I'm glad that they're taking such a sensitive tact with these very serious and very sad situations that this building is here to represent. I don't know. I guess that's the main concern that some people have with these kinds of programs, is that they take these very serious and very sad and somber places where horrible things have happened, or where normal things have happened, but people will try and spin them as spooky. And this girl who is supposed to represent mental health, I guess, she just stock footage of someone screaming. I don't know. It's just not very respectful, I guess, is the main criticism that I see of it. And I get it, because this is just you got a show to make, man. But it doesn't feel like you're being very respectful of the dead that you're trying to film. Maybe that's why they're pissed off.
Mike Ritchie and Ethan Quinlan have just arrived at SCI Crescent to conduct an investigation.
Now, when they say they're there doing an investigation, sounds like they're just trespassing. If you mean a ghost investigation, then yeah, surely no government body has authorized them to do this. I think they're just breaking the law and recording at the same time. It's one of those things where I feel like if you go looking for ghosts, I don't know if I'm gonna believe you when you say that you saw a ghost that you set out to find,
And Mike believes that singing is saying something.
That's wind.
Don't be scared of me.
Dude, what? Play back the tape on that.
Echoes through the hallway. Is saying something.
That's wind.
Don't be scared of me.
Now, how in your right mind did you get from what definitely sounds like wind blowing through an abandoned hallway to don't be scared of me? That's what I don't understand about a lot of these, is it's definitely all BS, but how do you even pick that out? You could choose any random phrase. I guess you just create this narrative in your head. That's nothing, right? There's definitely nothing there. This guy's just clearly he's listened to this audio for so long that he's gone insane. So let's keep watching.
Watch again, in slow motion. What looks like a head peeks in from the door frame.
Now, does that look like a head to you? I don't think so. I think this is just some sort of trick of the light, obviously, right? I don't know why I'm trying to debunk this. This is just pure nonsense to just fill time on TV. But you can see the door frame and all the details surrounding it is very clear. If there was a person's face in the doorway, you would be able to make it out, because you can make out the other dude in the room. I mean, I guess you could just say, oh, it's a ghost. It's not going to show up as well on camera, but I don't know. Let's see what the specialists, the experts have to say about it, rather.
Whatever it was kind of looking at them, watching them, but didn't want to be seen. Didn't really want to have that encounter.
This guy, Steve Shippey, his title is Paranormal Expert and Filmmaker. He's just going to start wildly speculating on what this thing in the doorway is thinking and doing, and why it's behaving the way that it is, that it's watching them, but that it doesn't want to be seen or have an encounter with them. It's just alright, man, if you were observing a real person in a video, Would you be able to make that bold of a claim? I don't think you would be able to. And yet, from this grainy ass footage, you're just discerning all of that and speaking so confidently. And so that's what this show is literally 8 minutes of the narrator speaking in 3-word sentences, and then people showing the worst video and audio I've ever seen. But I am entertained. I can't even lie. Like, it's nothing, right? There's nothing in this footage. But I do want to keep watching. So let's watch maybe 1 or 2 more and see where these stories go. See if we get something a little bit more substantial. I'm just watching literally 3 minutes of ads right now in the middle of this program. I've seen 8 minutes of fake hauntings, and I've seen 3 minutes of ads. Finally, we're back.
For many people, the thought of seeing a ghost within or around where they live is terrifying. Because most believe that a ghost is the remaining spirit of someone who is dead. And death can be very scary.
What the fuck is that? What the hell? And death can be very scary. Get to this goofy ass skeleton. Oh my god, that's too good. This is the scariest the props department can manage, or is this like the scariest it was allowed to be? I don't understand. But just this goofy ass skeleton just waving. Okay, you gotta go.
Watch closely. As what appears to be a misty line moves towards his truck. But when a neighbor's car's headlights approach, the image moves back across the yard and seems to take the form of a person.
One of my friends tried to mention, well, what if your sprinkler was moving? And I go, well, my sprinklers don't move.
You know what? You know what? That is exactly what that is. Like, look at this. It's clearly like moving this way. And you can see the line coming up from here. And then it's moving back this way. And you can see it kind of like the front of it moves. And then the back of it kind of, like it's doing like this. You know, kind of how like a sprinkler shoots out and curves around because it's like shooting in this direction, but the top of the beam is already moving on while the water that's already falling is going straight down. You can see it come back around. Like, yeah, look, you can see that line cut across, and then you can see it cut back. You can even see something similar over here.
A lot of people think that in order for a place to be haunted, somebody has to die there. But
Her name is Susan Slaughter. Yeah, she better be a paranormal investigator.
every day at the same time, or coming home every day at the same time, you can leave imprints within an environment and not have to have died there. It could just be very well like residuals of the energies of your neighbors going about doing things that they've always done.
Okay, so their whole theory with this story is that there are like actions you do every day that over the course of like a lifetime or whatever build up and leave traces in the ether, I guess. And so you can sort of like capture yourself like walking to your own car over and over again on your Ring doorbell or something like that. Again, I don't buy it, but I do think it's like really interesting in like a almost like a people watching way to watch like people who believe in these kinds of things, whether it's like homeopathy or like whatever, like spirits and ghosts and stuff. The way that they sort of like almost like self-diversify to where they have like the thing that they believe, but then they say like, okay, well, like this doesn't make sense. And rather than say, okay, maybe like what I believe doesn't make sense, they like subclassify it. Like with this kind of thing, I imagine it came about because someone who really believed in like ghosts and spirits and stuff maybe bought a new house or was somewhere where no one had died. and something happened to where they took a picture and something in the lens caused an apparition to appear, or like, you know, they saw something out of the corner of their eye, or there was a noise that they couldn't explain. And then rather than say, well, if nobody died here, surely it's not a ghost, and then I need to challenge my original thought, I will just like invent a new theory to explain why this still fits under my original theory. It's just fascinating to me. I don't know. But this story is boring and nonsense. I'm going to skip to the one that happens in Houston, and then I'm going to call it a day.
Sets up a static camera in her bathroom to see if she can catch it again. And sure enough, when one of her daughters is in there...
Oh my god! Oh my god! Mama!
Thing is like...
This one is interesting. I'll give them that, because it's hard for there to be anyone nearby manipulating that unless there's like a hole through to the other room. And I think that like that kid's reaction is pretty genuine. Like, I don't think that you could coach her to act that well. The one thing I will say is that underneath this little drawer that keeps moving, there is a cat litter box. I have 2 cats, and I know that like if I open a drawer slightly, they will not often go in the front, but they will try and get in the back of it, because there is clearance in the back where they can slide themselves behind the back of the drawer and into it. Not that they wouldn't have seen that, right? Like, I don't know. But like the fact that the cat is known to frequent that space underneath that drawer that keeps moving, and this is the only thing they've been able to catch on camera so far, leads me to believe that that's probably what's happening. But let's keep going and see what's going on here.
What's incredible is you see these drawers, they slowly open. It's not in such a way that it's jolted open to scare you. And then
Ronnie LeBlanc from Expedition Bigfoot is here to give his opinion on poltergeists, I guess. I don't know why he's qualified to do that, but these are the experts that were promised. So what I'm gathering from this is that there's not really that many experts. There's just, you know, people who kind of like are at the forefront of making this stuff up.
A dash cam in Australia captures footage of a mysterious entity.
It's almost as if it manifests as the vehicle is...
What? What was that?
In England, a dash cam in Australia.
What is that? Is that a Smurf? Okay, we gotta keep going, but that is... I don't even... Is that supposed to be scary? It looks like someone rolled up a towel and stood it on a pole. I don't know, man. Let's see if there's anything else interesting in this, but if not, we're gonna call it. Okay. This sucks. I don't know, man. They've kept my attention this whole time, I'll say, which is pretty impressive given that they're just looping the same 3 or 4 seconds of footage in a lot of these cases. As far as the general like structure of the show goes, I mean, it's for people who really like this stuff, and I guess if you're into it, it's fine. But the premise that there's experts that come on and break down these paranormal activity clips is not really there. These are just like enthusiasts about paranormal activity. Like, this guy's a paranormal journalist. You've had 3 other hosts of different shows on this network that are very into the paranormal. You've had like supernatural experts and stuff like that, which doesn't really mean anything, because I don't think Harvard is handing out degrees in supernatural studies, and if they are, I stand corrected. But I don't know, this show just seems very strange to me. I guess it's not meant to be scrutinized like this, right? I guess it's just meant to be like on in the background while you're doing laundry or something like that. For that, yeah, like I said, kept my attention. I just don't think that it's very good. But with that, let's wrap this video up. I do indulge in horror and true crime content from time to time, so I get why this appeals to people. I mean, this is like Shane Dawson's whole deal now, right? And BuzzFeed Unsolved and Watcher have made it their whole career as well. So I know there's an audience for this kind of stuff. I just really don't understand why they're married to the Travel Channel name. But speaking of names, mine is Aaron Trevino. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you let me know how you feel about the Travel Channel's new look down in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe. I'd love to hit 1,000 subs by the new year, so that's our goal for right now. Share with your friends, and remember, if we hit 10 million subs on this channel, I will buy one of the Optimus robots and feed it to my Boston Dynamics dogs. But happy Halloween to all those who celebrate, and I'll be back real soon with another video. I'll see y'all then.